your boy OpZ in the sun. Man, I ain't know that guy was going that slow. My goodness. My goodness. I could have been past that guy, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's a little bit chilly today. I'm going to have to start putting a little bit more of that olive oil on the face to keep the skin fresh, vibrant, and looking at its best. Today is the One Thing Tuesdays. That's why I kind of recap the one thing and kind of live out, just remind me to come back into the one thing groove, to put it back top of mind. Day 381 days, breast cancer awareness. Yeah, we got that the race coming up. Of course, I'm gonna be in that race, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do it. But on top of that, life is good. You know what I'm saying? Getting results. I was seeing the videos today, and they, man, some of the typo had a few typos. I was like, man, you know what? That's a result. You know what I'm saying? That's a result. Now you got a new result. You just get another one. That's all we're doing. We just getting results. That's all it is. That's what it's called. Not pass or fail. Just a result based on the actions that I took. If you don't like the result, then you go ahead and tweak the actions. But back to that man texting and driving out here and sped up now, You can tell when they texting and driving, they weaving all over. I pray you make it to your destination safely in the name of Jesus. But the recap was, this lady that came on there, I don't know the lady's name. I forget what she said her name was, but she had been on a podcast a long time ago. And on that podcast, she was talking about fierce conversations, about having these fierce conversations with your employees and with other people, a little bit of being candid, you know what I'm saying? That these conversations, but you got to do it in a way of love or whatever. She was the word that she used. But this one, it's like fierce conversations, but it was fierce love. She said using these fierce conversations in your love life versus your work life, with your spouse, with your significant other. And she was going through kind of like the love language, kind of like my boy Tony did as well too. I guess all psychologists and stuff like that, y'all gonna come to the same conclusion. How to tackle that thing is opening up the lines of communication, not hiding anything, being on the same page, same agenda. Even if you ain't on the same page and ain't on the same agenda, that's what they were saying in the one thing as well too, through the one thing couples goal setting retreat. I said I was gonna get that card deck and kind of figure out, your style, your own personal style of how you like things in a relationship, or how you like things in life, so you can make sure that you're not saying one thing, hey, I value my family, but yet I'm at work all the time. Stuff like that, uncovering that in a way that you say, hey, if I'm saying I value family, then why am I not at home most of the time? Then what's the one thing that I could do one thing that I could do to be at home more with my kids, and such by doing it, make everything else easy and unnecessary? Yeah, I'm with it. And then do it. See what I'm saying? So that's what she was talking about, and one of the things she was talking about as an example that, and she got some myths in there that she was trying to debunk. And I'm listening. I said, yeah, this me and my wife need to have. I'm not a fierce conversation guy, And she said you probably need to read the book first, because you can't dive into fierce love if you ain't got fierce conversation. And that's sort of like making assumptions. It's still going for no, right? It's one of these go for no's. A lot of times we don't have some of these conversations because we don't want to rock the boat. But you can ease it in, like one of the things she was saying, the love languages. That's what my daughter read, the 8 love languages. I had never read that. Men are for Mars, women are for Venus. Hadn't read that. But my boy Tony, he goes through and say, man, look, you gotta say I love you the way they want you to say I love you. But in these fierce conversations, you gotta be able to tell that person how I want you to tell me you love me. That's how I know you love me. If you rub my feet every night, something like that, or you call me when you get off work every night, something like that. But she was saying that she was sitting down in this company and said, oh yeah, everything hunky-dory, blah, blah, blah. She said, no, it looked like something different. Something seems different. What's different? What you're not telling me. Then she said, when she said that, the guy's shoulders went down and the lady got kind of looked over at him. She said, well, hey, he had an affair. You know what I'm saying? But, we got past, we through it, we good now. I have this unconditional love for him. There's nothing he can do that'll make me leave him. And she said, hold on, wait a minute, stop that. Take that back. She said, you can't say that. Because that just gives him, that just stir his flesh back up. That just give him an opportunity to say, okay, she ain't gonna never leave me, so shoot. That's safe. That's the reason he was having an affair kind of on the backside. But see, that's gonna turn into, like you said, what you thought you was exercising unconditional love, you was actually enabling sin and corruption. Yeah, because you were saying ain't no consequences. Now you can have unconditional love and then still have consequences. See what I'm saying? There still could be some punishment. Just because you punish, like your kids, just because you punish your kids don't mean you love them. But you don't say, hey, I got unconditional love for my kids, so I let them do whatever they want to do without punishment. You know what I'm saying? And that mother blowing the smoke out of that thing. You can tell this guy right here ain't on the clock. He don't work. He ain't getting paid by the hour because he burning rubber in this truck right here trying to get to the work site. That's how you kind of tell, But anyway. No, she had it kind of messed up. See, she had it twisted. And that's what a lot of people do, is they twist it just a little bit. They twist it just a little bit. The thing that they thought they was exercising wasn't the same thing. Like with my boy, I was listening to my boy Stephen Covey a little bit a while ago. And he was telling me that let's go for win-win. He said, man, I tried that. The guy said, I tried that win-win stuff, man. And those folks took us to the cleaners. He said, what? He said, yeah. He said, why'd you go for win-lose then? He said, win-lose? He said, yeah. He said, what you mean? I went for win-win. He said, now let me get this right. They won. He said, yeah. And you lost. He said, yeah. He said, what's that called? He said, oh man, that's win-lose. We thought we was going for win-win. What happened? He say a lot of folks think that win-win is being weak, letting the other guy push you over. But it's not. See, you gotta understand what you kind of going for. You gotta look at it, what you're going for. She thought she was going for unconditional love, and she wasn't. That ain't unconditional love. That's a pass to rob the bank. That's a pass to treat you any kind of way, talk to you any kind of way, bust you up, hit you all over the head. That's a recipe for disaster. That's what the lady said. Not in so many words, but anyway. Then this other thing she was talking about which Tony touched on, say, look, I'm sitting here, I need a hug. My husband, if he loves me, he would know I need a hug right now. Boom. How would he know? That would lady say, how would you know? If he loves you. See, because each person can have two different love languages. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. What Tony pulled up, it's what Tony pulled up. Because for some ironic reason, these are kind of coincide. There ain't no coincidence. They're just coming in. This is what I need to be looking at going into the holidays. It's time in my life. Listen to relationship stuff, because that's what I'm trying to build. So, this is what he said. He said that this movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and I don't know what the other chick name was, but I remember Whoopi Goldberg. He said that the girl always say I love you, and then Patrick Swayze always say ditto. And then she got mad with him, because he never would say I love you. He say, man, look, I ain't gonna say I love you because where I come from, man, people always said I love you and they didn't mean it. It was just a trick. So I say, man, I ain't gonna even be throwing that out there as a trick to manipulate somebody. So he say, that's what he say. He say ditto. See, but they had a big thing about that whole thing. And that's how I was, just knowing that love language, what people think about love language. See what I'm saying? I'm coming up behind you, my man. I know you're trying to ease over these bumps. You don't understand. You don't have to go over the bumps. You can go around them. You don't have to go over every bump. You can go around some of them. Yeah, you can go around some of the bumps. You can. But then she talked about, it was one last thing. Oh yeah, she said you also gotta have this love talk. You gotta examine yourself, of course, to make sure that you are a strong leg of the relationship. You gotta make sure you're a strong leg of the relationship. I'm gonna look at it out. I couldn't see him. They got window tint on the window. They didn't want nobody to see who was driving that slow. I think them brakes may be a little too tight on my lane. I'm gonna drive 80. Car just take a while to get up there for something. I ain't really punch it. But yeah. But she said you need to have that conversation with yourself. Make sure that yourself is right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm right. Am I right? Asking those questions, continuously asking those questions and digging deeper. On both sides. Don't interrogate the other one. Interrogate yourself hard as you want to. But when it comes to others, you got to be more purposeful, more gentle, more purposeful and gentle. Yeah, gentleful. Yeah, let's do it that way. But so today, the rest of the day, I'm be looking at my 411 on the one thing that I can do to make this work day go a whole lot better. And some of the things I'm gonna do easier are unnecessary. Yeah, it's one thing I can do. And that's to look at my 411 and gather that up. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean, Vern. So you know what I'm gonna do. So you know what you need to do. You need to. I'm gonna do it to life. I'm gonna do it to it. So you do it to it. You do it to your life. Peace out.